up, everybody? Sven Diesel here. We're going to be tying up a deer hair hopper tail. I recently tied up a hopper using some natural deer hair and kind of made a fun tail. As you can see here, they're kind of a different tail, similar. I've done them on caddis stimulator bodies and stuff like that. But what we have here is this is an extended body maker. This is the largest size. I just want that for durability and strength. So the medium tends to walk a little bit. And I'm just going to start my thread right here about 4 or 5 wraps and stick my tag in through this spring back here. I'm sure there's other tools available to make this. This is just what I have, and it's easy to do. So we're using some Nature Spirit. This is some deer hair in the color olive. I believe this is the X Caddis deer hair, but I have since thrown away my package, and so we're just going to go with what I have, and it works. So I'm just going to cut off a small little pinch here. This is about the size of between a big pen and a little bit smaller maybe, and I'll just brush all the hair out, the underbody fur, and just get that nice and clean because we don't want that getting into the actual tail. And so then I'll just slide that little pinch in the by the tips into a hair stacker that's the appropriate size. This is the slide stacker in a size small, and I've really grown to love these slide stackers, and I'll show you why right here. After I stack it, I pretty much twist that around, and that is easy to grab right there. Bam. And I'll go ahead and just switch hands, just kind of make sure I got all the straggle hair out, and then I'll just pinch it right there on top. Now I'm going to do 2 to 3 really loose wraps. You can see I'm not even really tightening on that. And then I'll make sure everything's aligned, make sure I've got about a 1/4 of an inch of butt ends coming out here. And this is why I think it's the X-Cast. Look at how that flares. Just pretty easy. And then I'll just work my way forward here, trying to pinch it and get any stray shorter fibers that I missed earlier. And just pinch it, and then we'll basically be doing loose wraps spiraling up this hair, using that extended body as our guide. And you want to make sure as you come around the bottom side there that you grab all the hair possible. You don't want to have any stragglers. And I'm going to get that a little bit tighter here. And I'm doing about 1/8 of an inch wraps. You can do them tighter or looser. And this isn't really for durability purposes. I mean, it is trying to hold the clump of hair together for the tail, but it's not necessarily binding it in to fastening it to the hook shank that we're going to be attaching this to. That's why we have the butt ends going out, why we left a significant butt end section. But we're just going to work our way up, maybe getting the wraps a little tighter as we work our way here to the back. And you can see if you don't grab a couple hairs, just back it out and reverse it. And then as you get here towards the tips, you want to make sure that you don't go past your extended body, the end of that pin. And then I'm going to do 2 or 3, 5, 6 wraps here real tight and kind of flare that tail, which is going to pinch it all together. And I'll make sure my wraps are pretty even. They don't have to be perfect. The fish aren't going to care as much as the fishermen, and that is right there key. And I'll show you why here in a second. But I'm going to apply a little bit of super glue. Now you can coat this whole thing in a resin if you want. I'm just basically putting it on the top side of this, which will be the top side of this hopper tail. Or I guess it's not a tail, it's the rear body. And what that's going to do is just help hold our thread in place, and then we'll just go ahead and spiral this back down. And you can see you can rotate your vise. You can also just freehand it. I like to rotate the vise so I can see what's going on the other side. And then as we get here towards our butt ends, this last little section here from that last X until the green, you're not even going to see because it's going to be covered on the hopper. But we'll go ahead and do a 3-turn whip finish, and that's pretty much how I've been doing these hopper tails. It's pretty easy. You can see all those butt ends are the hairs to that tail, and we're going to be tying that to the shank of the hook, similar to how you would do a wing or maybe a tail on a stimulator or an elk hair caddis or any type of body. But when you slide it off, I grab by the tips and the butt ends and kind of push as I pull. And then I'll kind of just make sure that super glue is dry. I kind of give it a little pressure on the sides to help make it a little more oval than round. And that is going to be our tail. Let's go ahead and, I'm not going to tie one in this video, but I'll just show you. I'll just get a little, this is about a size, I think this is an 8. just a nymph hook. I'm going to basically, the next step is to gather those butt ends and just simply place it right here on top of the shank of the hook and tie it in, and there's your rear body of a hopper, the butt end of it, or the tail. And so pretty easy to do, pretty cool. That is full of deer hair and should float like a cork because it's a bundle of natural fibers that are hollow, and they're bundled together with a little bit of glue on top. So try some out, tie up a bunch, and then put them to hooks. So thanks for watching.